Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be diving into two of my favorite cream stick bronzer formulas right now, which are the Cosmetics So Soft Bronzer and the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick. And both of these have come out quite a while ago now, maybe 6 months to a year ago, but in my head they kind of both are exemplary modern bronzing stick formulas. They are very, very similar in how they feel and perform and blend out. And I think that between the two, you basically can't really go wrong. But I'm going to dive into the differences I see. First, let's talk about the ways in which they are similar. One is kind of the packaging. They're both just stick with a lid and you kind of twist up and down. I think both are very sturdy. I've had these for a while, no problems with any functionalities. The ways in which they are most similar are the formula. So let me just kind of demonstrate going on. They are just both super slick and smooth, and I think you can kind of see here already how they basically went on with the same velvety ease. You just barely have to tap it to the surface of your skin or whatever tool you want to work with, and the product picks up and deposits extremely evenly. Just for comparison, this is like another bronzer stick formula I have, and then you can kind of see I have to use a lot more, well, I guess you can't see this, but I have to use more pressure and there's more friction when I'm spreading out this formulation. For reference, this is a Nude Sticks Nudies Matte. In contrast, this has like much more luminosity. It's kind of got more like of a cream lipstick texture to it, whereas these two are just very soft matte with a little bit of luminescence. And then moreover, when I go to kind of blend them out, you can see the way that they spread are pretty similar. I think that one thing is that the Cosmetics one is a hint more creamy and able to be sheared out further, whereas the Rare Beauty one, it is completely dry to the touch, very much a dimethicone feel as you blend it out. They're both super thin, but the Rare Beauty one kind of blends to immediately a very even finish, whereas the Cosmetics one, you can kind of shear it out even more than the Rare Beauty one. And then finally, this Nudies bronzer stick, you can kind of see I have to like use much more pressure and really work with it to kind of shear it out to the same level. And it just has a lot more variation in the texture that you can kind of, and finish that you can achieve with it. Like you can see, I don't want to call it patchy because you can definitely work it into a very nice even finish, but it just has a lot more variance in the ways you can spread it out. Both of these you can use pretty much any method you want of picking the product up and blending it out. You could put on the back of your hand, pick it up with a brush, with a beauty blender, and then go in on your face. You could put these directly on your face and use whatever tool you want to blend it out, be your fingers, beauty blender, or brush. And I think that that is kind of unique to these two formulas because, again, they are so foolproof and smooth. I think a lot of other formulations, you might want to pick it up separately on a brush or put on the back of your hand first before going in on your face, because you need to kind of be more careful about making sure that you have picked up a very even amount of product that will become easy to distribute, whereas these two are easy to distribute across your face already. Like, it's built into the formula, so you just like don't really have to think about other variables. They have a very malleable finish in that they're like skin-like leaning matte, but they'll basically take on whatever base you have underneath and meld with that. They both give a somewhat blurring quality to the skin. Now, where someone might want to pick up one of these over the other comes down to the colors and shade range that each offer and the price point. So the Rare Beauty one is $23 and overall much more accessible because it's on Sephora, and the M Cosmetics So Soft line, it's $30 for each, which I think, to me, that feels pretty expensive. There's a similar amount of product and it's only accessible on M Cosmetics. You know, you have to reach like a shipping threshold to get the free shipping, so it's just kind of more of a hassle to buy. But that being said, they have very, very different shade ranges, and this particular shade I have in the So Soft collection I think is quite unique and pretty valuable in my collection. The shade I have in So Soft is the Terra shade, which, as you can see, is distinctly quite cool, and the one I have in the Rare Beauty is Happy Soul. I think both of these amongst the individual collections make sense for me to have picked up. So the Rare Beauty line, it has 5 shades total, and there's 1 shade lighter than the Happy Soul, and all of the shades look very, very warm. I would say Happy Soul, surprisingly, amongst the swatches I see online at least, looks like the most neutral shade, but in person it is definitely very warm. So I can only imagine that the other shades are even warmer. They do span a nice depth, I think, of working across a lot of different depths of skin tones. I do enjoy this, and I reach for it a lot in the summer, I find, to really like warm up my face and give me that summery glow. Yeah, just on days where maybe my foundation is too light or like too pink for me or something, I think that this bronzer definitely helps to kind of liven up my face again, so I love it for that. The So Soft M Cosmetics line, it has 4 shades in their bronzer selection, but they have more blush shades, and it seems to go into a much deeper depth as far as their darkest shade. I would describe Terra as possibly being the lightest shade in the collection. There's one that's really a pretty comparable depth, maybe a hint deeper, but it is warm, and it looks like it would be a very good like actual sun-kissed bronzer looking shade for me. Like actually like a very, very good normal bronzer shade, but I like this one, Terra, in particular because it is that cooler tone. I haven't really come across another bronzer that is offered in this color, and I think that so I would describe myself as like neutral-ish olive, quite light to fair skin tones, and if any of these are overlapping ways that you would describe yourself, I think that this could be a really, really good pickup for you. In the winter, this is my favorite bronzer shade by far. I don't really know how to like wrap my head around this, but it doesn't look warm or really traditionally bronzy on me at all. It just really helps to bring back shape and definition to my face, I find. So in the winter, when everything around me is like cold and gray, I don't know, I just feel like warming up my face a lot doesn't really fit right, but I definitely still want a bronzer to help bring back like life and shape to my face after I use a foundation that kind of, I feel, makes everything look pretty blank and even. It's not quite a contour, though you could use it to contour your face for sure, to sculpt things out. But on my complexion, and I think on similar light to maybe fair skin tones, this would just work really well as a bronzer that doesn't add a crazy amount of warmth. If you're someone that finds bronzers can pull too orange or look way too warm and like kind of jump out on your face because of that, this might be one to kind of solve those problems. Between the two, I think just pick whatever color you think will work best for you, and the formula is really one you can't really go wrong with. A lot of product in there, super easy to work with. I did describe a few slight differences in their texture and formulation, which I can feel when I rub between my fingers, but overall when I'm applying it on my face, they basically feel about the exact same going on. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.